It's these people that think they have to have all these things in order to get their business going. They got to have the shiny new latest MacBook Pro 5000. And that is the opposite mentality of what successful people have. Successful people have the mentality of this. I'm going to make the most of what I have because I'm going to get where it is I'm going no matter what happens. They have the mentality they're going to find a way to do more with less.
Lesson learned that you still carry with you since you started?
Never stop. Never stop learning. Humble yourself. Humility goes a long way.
It's not always going to be fun. It's going to suck. You're going to fail. It's going to hurt. It's probably pretty uncomfortable majority of the time. That builds endurance. When you look back over a period of time, you think, I actually made some progress through this because I was consistently good rather than trying to be or look occasionally great.
Not one of your students. He said, go to the board and do what I'm going to give you directions anyhow. And I said, I can't, sir. And the other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley is smart. He's DT. He said, what's DT? He's a dumb twin. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk. He looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality.
And it's the consistency of the work, which I feel like a lot of parents are missing today because we're not teaching that to our kids. We tend to say like kids don't want to do the work, but in reality, it's when we're failing them because we're not leading them the right way and teaching them, how to fish.
The sooner you get it done, the longer you get to enjoy it with the people you love the most. Do not make the mistake of forgetting that you are expiring.
What you are going through in life, how sad you are, how much pain you're feeling, the trauma that you're going through, you are strong enough to see another day. And it's not about being 100% every single day. It's about just showing up. That's what I do. No matter what the odds, no matter how I'm feeling, I show up every single day.
You did enough today. This can be done tomorrow. And that sounds good when you're tired. That sounds good when you're worn out. Right? Man, I have done a lot today. I know I didn't finish exactly what I'm supposed to finish, but this can actually wait tomorrow. Okay? And this is why it's so effective. The bitch voice only wants to delay your win, to delay your work. It wants you to just put off getting things done for one more day. This lie that we tell ourselves about things waiting till tomorrow will ultimately cost you everything.
Intimidate you or make you laugh. I was always a bully. Until one day in 5th grade, at a spit wad, I threw it at the chalkboard. It splattered. This kid rats me out. So I'm beating this kid up, and I'm kicking this kid, and he has an epileptic seizure. It's just me and the kid out there, and he's on the ground shaking. Now I'm frightened because, So then a guy comes, and he saves the kid. I go home, I get disciplined. My mother pulls me to the side and says, you're too big and too strong. You can't ever do that again. And that kind of stayed with me. I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. So then I was like, I'm not going to beat people up. Let me go to plan B.
And we live in a world that is so divisive right now. And I do believe that the opposition has done a great job dividing people to the point where it's black versus white, cop haters versus cop lovers, mask, no mask, vax, no vax, pandemic was real, pandemic was made up, like Democrat versus Republican. You're seeing so many ways of divisiveness. And I do believe that that is by design, that the opposition wants us divided, because the more divided we are, then we cannot be united against the opposition if we are constantly divided against one another, right? Think about that. So be kind. Be kind to your fellow man.
99% equals 0%, right? You're not going to tell your grandchildren, I almost did this podcast.
Yeah.
No, you either did it or you didn't.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter what you almost did. And nobody cares. 100% getting things done. And I'm saying pragmatism beats perfectionism. So you don't have to be perfect in what you do. Actually, perfectionists never get things done, right? So they're very pragmatic.
Fear is a much more powerful driver than desire. That most people are running away from things that they don't want, as opposed to running toward things that they do. The amount of discomfort that you need to go through to become someone of note in any field, whether it be sports or academia or art or creativity or poetry or like fucking pickleball, whatever it is, it requires such a massive activation energy that most people have more pain than they do love in life, and pain is a significantly more potent fuel
You know the old saying, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Exactly.
You want to learn from other people. You want to be with good people.
And there's other times when I wasn't the smartest guy in the room, and I kept my mouth shut, and people thought I might have been smart because I'm not saying anything.
You're not saying anything.
And they're giving you all the information you need at that point.
Things that that I've started to incorporate over the years more in my life is things like stretching, things like yoga and meditation has been I kind of turned a blind eye to it when I was younger. But being able to sit still for a second and listen to the noises around you, being kind to yourself, because I think for a long time I wasn't kind to myself.
Self-education will never betray you. Sometimes you have to crack open the book. Sometimes you have to study. You can't be out here scrolling on TikTok 24/7 with dopamine hits, thinking that you're going to get financial literacy off of a TikTok short. You have to become self-educated, because most of the education that we have is education of the system. It's not self-education, it's indoctrination.
People will play a video game, they love it, it's super exciting to them, and then they'll keep playing and playing and playing. Either one of two things happens, typically both. Addiction is a progressive narrowing of the things that bring you pleasure. So oftentimes what will happen is the person only has excitement and can achieve dopamine release to the same extent doing that behavior and not other behaviors. And so they start losing interest in school, they start losing interest in relationships, they start losing interest in fitness and well-being, and depletes their life. And eventually what typically happens is they will stop getting dopamine release from that activity as well, and then they drop into a pretty serious depression. And this can get very severe, and people commit suicide from these sorts of patterns of activity.
You've got a big slice of cake, right? And I go, bro, that looks really good. Can I have a bite? Will you give me a bite?
I would give you a bite, yes.
Okay. How do you feel about that? Fine. Okay, now check this out. There's one more bite. I roll in and I say, oh, can I have that bite? You may still give it to me, but how do you feel about it? You don't feel good.
No.
What I realized, that feeling comes from the expectation. Because when there's one bite left, you're excited about having the last bite. You already ate the whole freaking piece of cake.
Yeah.
But it's in your head that you got one more bite.
Yeah.
So, my point in saying this is, from like an eating perspective, I'm only going to have one slice of pizza. That's all I get.
If you want to get wealthy, go somewhere that's going to be trendy and popular and really amazing down the road. Get there before everybody else does and wave the flag. You're sitting there, it's 2023, shit's hitting the fan, to say the least, and the government. You're hungry, you're listening to this show, like, I want to do what these guys are doing, I want to make money, I want to travel the world, I want to do cool stuff. What's going to be trending? Not tomorrow. What's going to be trending? What's going to be happening in 6 months, 12 months, 24 months?
You never want to be that person who asks high-level people stupid shit, because then they automatically put you in the category of the stupid motherfucker, and you don't want to be that.
Are you actually doing these things? Are these things that you are guilty of? And if you are, correct them, put the truth of this podcast into action, and go fucking win. Lie number one, I don't have the resources to get this done. Lie number two, I'm too tired to handle this right now. Lie number three, and this is the biggest one that we all tell. This can wait till tomorrow is one of the most effective lies the bitch voice uses. Why is it so effective? Because it's not telling you to give up. It's not saying, hey, bail out on your dreams. It's just telling you to pause until tomorrow.
Why do you think the world hates successful men?
I think that there's a victim mindset, and for you to have a victim mindset, you have to have an oppressor. And, successful guys are great targets for that. It's just not for me, but I see a lot of it. I see a lot of it going on everywhere. People don't like accountability. They don't seem to like ownership. And it's a lot easier to point to somebody that's doing the work than to do it yourself.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta have some trick. You gotta have some secret magic recipe, but it's not. Like anyone successful, you ask them, like, what's the secret to success? They say, there's no secret to success. It's just consistently working hard over a long period of time. So I genuinely think that that's what it is. It's not anything new. It's not.
So just staying in the gym. Just staying in the gym.
Just consistently working hard over a long period of time, and then it's only just now I feel like I'm seeing some like true results of that. So like no secret.
You have to do things that other people are not willing to do or are not able to do, and usually that shows commitment rather than just interest. I would spend basically every waking moment where I wasn't at work or at university or in lectures and stuff, thinking and planning videos and planning content and figuring out the business strategy and like doing a lot of stuff. Someone might look at that and think, oh my God, toxic productivity, hustle culture, and all that jazz. You don't get to that point without putting in the hard work. It's not like an easy process. And I think a lot of the kind of anti-productivity, toxic hustle culture kind of zealots they're sort of campaigning for like an easy, chilled out life. And that's totally fine. If you want an easy, chilled out life, 100%, I'm not going to argue with you. You do what you want. But if you care about building wealth in a short amount of time, you can't take the easy route and have like a chilled out life. You do have to start being committed to the stuff that you're doing rather than just interested in it.